Mr. Speaker, under the NDP government, the number of children in care has grown to about 10,000, with 80% being Aboriginal. At a media conference today, I revealed that children in the government's care are too often fed junk food, high in sugar, in hotels, even with the high diabetes rate in Aboriginal children, and that they received poor supervision by distracted, uninformed workers who struggle with the English language. I asked the Minister of Family Services and Labour how many children are in care in hotels as of right now, as of this past week, as of the past year, and when will the government create the emergency foster homes needed so that children in care don't have to go to hotels and have such inappropriate support?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I want to say for the record, I do not share the member opposite's poor and unfortunate view of the people who are working in the child welfare system. To typify them as people struggling with the English language, I think, is really a very inappropriate comment for this House, and I want to make that clear. I would say that, of course, we work very hard, all of us, to make sure that kids have the best care possible. If he has specific instances where he thinks that we aren't doing that job, I welcome him to come forward with those concerns, and I'll sit and chat with him about that, and we'll make sure that we follow up with the appropriate agencies. We have made progress in terms of getting kids out of hotels and into foster homes. Full credit is due to the minister before me for making that progress. We've recruited thousands of foster parents who are doing an excellent job, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, in more than 12 years, this NDP government has taken far too many children into care because it's failed to support families and has followed a policy of apprehend, apprehend, apprehend. As well, the government continuously fails to properly look after children in their own care, and accountability of Child and Family Services is profoundly lacking. The continuous delay of the Phoenix Sinclair inquiry is shameful. The system must change. It's unacceptable we have a children's advocate who isn't supporting the accountability needed. I asked the Minister of Family Services and Labour what she thinks of children's advocate Darlene McDonald's comments last week when she suggested that money being spent on a public inquiry into the Phoenix Sinclair tragedy is a waste.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Well, I was at the committee meeting where Ms. McDonald presented, and she very clearly said that she understood why we as a government had called that inquiry and agreed that the public had a right to know what went on in this situation. We called the inquiry because an inquiry is an exceptional thing to call. It's not done in every situation. We called it because we believe that there are still parts of this case that the public should be aware of, but we also believe that there is more to learn here. The system has transformed a great deal in that time. There's been hundreds of millions of dollars more put in to help workers, to ease caseloads, to do more training, but we think if there is more that we can learn, then we should learn it, and we trust Commissioner Hughes has been named to conduct the inquiry with a view to learning how we can improve the system.
Mr. Speaker, today the Winnipeg Free Press columnist Dan Lett, speaking about the Children's Advocate, a former Chief Executive Officer of the Winnipeg Child and Family Services, wrote, "McDonald seems to have lost touch with the duties of the Children's Advocate." He adds in talking about Ms. McDonald's negative comments toward this Phoenix Sinclair inquiry, "As a former executive in the very system the inquiry will scrutinize, McDonald should have known it would appear as a conflict of interest." I asked the Minister of Family Services and Labour, when will she demand the resignation of the Children's Advocate, Darlene McDonald, and bring in a child advocate who advocates on behalf of the children instead of advocating on behalf of the Child and Family Services authorities?
Well, Mr. Speaker, I am a bit speechless as to what the member is calling for. He should know that the Children's Advocate is accountable to the entire legislature. She's an independent officer of the legislature. He was on the committee that appointed her as the Children's Advocate, and I do not believe that we fire people simply because we may not agree with them.